The Motor City Machine Guns are finally here in the WWE, and the crowd went mild. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Wrestling. The Machine Guns made their debut on SmackDown, and it wasn't a spicy reaction. It wasn't a hot reaction. Hell, if this was a reaction based on Nando's sauce, then I don't think they would even have had sauce, because it was very, very quiet. You could actually hear a pin drop in the arena. And I heard somebody say in the comments something about, well, what happened? Did wrestling fans only start watching wrestling the last few years? Look at the ratings. I mean, since the Motor City Machine Guns were relevant, I mean, we've seen millions of people tune out of wrestling. So the likelihood is this new audience doesn't know the Motor City Machine Guns. We've seen actual legends in WWE come back and get really, really poor reception. So why do people think that a tag team that were at their best over 15 years ago in TNA, that was watched by about half the people that watched WWE at its best, why do people think that all of a sudden this tag team is going to be treated like it's the Mega Powers, Hulk Hogan and Macho Man Randy Savage?
Well, let me tell you something, brother. No one cares about them, man. It's not I mean, they can hype it. Oh, the journey started in 2000. So that's where it should have ended, because you know what? As I said in the SmackDown review, it doesn't help as well the fact that TNA's dead. Like, TNA's just not as big as it once was.
I mean, it's not even close to what it was.
Well, obviously, yeah, but
WWE's not as big as it once was. It's not as good as it once, but WWE's still WWE. You look at TNA doesn't even feel like the same company.
If Motor City Machine Guns came for AEW, it would have been much bigger, because AEW is just right now bigger and better than TNA. It is what it is.
And what have the Machine Guns actually done in wrestling? See, when you think in terms of mainstream,
nothing.
What? These guys haven't done anything. They've not had a stint in WWE before. They've not had a stint in AEW. So they're not on like mainstream television. They're not on the big networks. None of them have really went and made a name for themselves on the indies. You look at some wrestlers, like you look at Drew McIntyre when he left WWE. You know, he got his name out there. Like Zack Ryder. I mean, some people have actually went onto the indies and, you know, made a name for themselves and managed to impress enough to get back into WWE. For me, the Machine Guns have just been on a downwards trajectory since basically Sabin won the belt. I mean, ever since, he should never have been world champion, by the way, but ever since he lost the belt, I mean, this team's done nothing. Yeah, they've reunited the odd time. Oh, we're back in TNA. See, in 2017, 2019, oh, we're bound for glory. Who cares? Honestly, by that point, you had about 50,000 people every week watching TNA. That's irrelevant. This tag team is going to suck. You look at the Machine Guns, and they're two guys. First of all, the way they portray them, the Motor City Machine Guns, you would think this is like an up-and-coming tag team.
Yeah.
This is not a good tag team. This is like two guys in their fucking 40s that are starting. They may as well be rookies. They're starting fresh. They're going absolutely nowhere. Will they get a run with the belts? I mean, probably, because everybody gets DIY got the belts.
It's like, it's like AJ Styles, right? If AJ Styles waited until 2024 to move to WWE, his stock would have naturally went down.
Yeah, but at least with Styles, you know, he also went to New Japan and he was a champ over there and he was keeping his name relevant. But I agree. See, if AJ had a left TNA and then TNA faded out, even if he went back to TNA for like the odd run or whatever, TNA for the past 10 years has been doing dick. TNA's been shit. At least AJ was, when he came to WWE, he'd only been away from TNA for like maybe 2 years at the most. And in that 2 years, he was in Japan and he was leading the Bullet Club, and at least that was semi-big back then, and he was the world champ. So he came into WWE riding momentum. But these guys have done nothing really for the past decade. And I just don't think it's going to work. The fact that nobody knows who they are kind of tells you everything you need to know. These guys aren't draws. These guys aren't needle movers. You could put them in NXT and they would not stand out. They would just look like everybody else.
It seems like it needs to be like a foreign show for people to actually get proper pops. Who the fuck was expecting these guys to get a pop?
Even if it's a foreign nobody... These guys are... No, but these guys are less over than anybody in WWE right now, because at least the people in WWE have got the WWE machine.
The exposure.
These guys are not more well known than DIY. They're not more well known than Street Profits.
Motor shit.
They're not more known than a lot of these teams
No, I know.
because their peak was about 15 years ago in TN fucking A, and they've done nothing since.
Super quick shaving.
And they're gonna, and also I don't think their look helps. I mean, they're two small guys, two vanilla midgets, as Grayson Waller called them. I think Alex Shelley's got a better look than Chris Sabin.
Yeah.
But I mean, still, it's
They just look straight out the 2000s, though, don't they?
they just look like a generic tag team that can do flips and dives and super kicks.
Well, that's what they are, though. But they're old. You're right. It's like they've just... See when TNA was beginning to sink, and by God, it was beginning to sink quickly, man. That's when you leave.
No, but honestly, see if this team went to AEW, we'd be sitting here saying they're going to be shite. They're going to have matches with the Revival, matches with the Young, and nobody's going to care. So I'm not going to sit here and pretend that them going to WWE is a big deal. Because it's not.
Yeah, and the tag division's dead.
Yeah, it's dead.
And adding these two guys ain't going to revive it.
Anyway, Chris Sabin took to Twitter. He made a public statement regarding the team's SmackDown appearance. He says, quote, Motor City Machine Guns are WWE superstars. The journey started in 2006 with many highs and lows along the way, from being struggling tag team artists to working to prove ourselves to be inspiring and innovating an entire generation of tag team wrestling. Everything has led to this. Thank you. End of quote. They both then spoke on the lowdown after their tag team match. Sabin said, quote, It's pretty surreal. I'd like to say it's a dream come true, but it's more than that. This is a goal accomplished for us. It might have taken 20 years to get here, to get to this position, but being one match away from being number one contenders for the WWE Tag Team Championships, that's pretty crazy. Just saying it out loud kind of blows my mind a little bit. End of quote. And then Shelley added, quote, We take things one step at a time, but DIY is exactly why we came to WWE. Exactly why we want to declare ourselves the best tag team on the planet, because we beat all the great tag teams that already exist in the WWE universe. So I apologise to you in advance, DIY, but you're looking at the next tag team champions. End of quote. The fact that these guys wanted to come to WWE to get in the ring with DIY is a fucking failure.
Yeah, it's a failure. I mean, you're just setting yourself up for failure. Oh,
how low is the bar?
But that's the problem. Like, wrestling's just fucking dead. See, 20 years ago, like when Team 3D, like, we've came to TNA, we're going to wrestle some of the, it's got a bit more weight. Fucking DIY. Guys, they had a 28-day title reign on fucking SmackDown. Two guys that are also 40 and shite. Motor City. I didn't mind them, right, about 15 years ago. But it's 2024. Look at the amount of people. Chris Jericho is stale in 2024, so you can sure as fuck bet that the more shitty Machine Guns are going to be stale. Not even stale. There's nothing there. See, to be stale, you had to be good. And the Motor City Machine Guns were alright at their best.
They were alright. I mean, they had some decent... But they were never the attraction of TNA.
Kicking out of the 3D as well.
That's disgusting.
That is disgusting.
You know what I mean? Like they were never the main reason to watch TNA, not even close. And for me, they were never the best tag team.
TNA's downfall is giving guys like this the
World Championship. And even if you look at tag teams that TNA created, I mean, the Motor City Machine Guns are nowhere near my favourite.
Yeah.
For me, it's LAX and Beer Money.
No, absolutely.
So, I mean, it is what it is. I personally think that they're not going to do anything successful. To me, you could put them on NXT and they would not stand out from anyone on NXT. I think anybody that claims the Machine Guns are a draw or that are going to improve the ratings are lying. Anyone that says these are going to, they're going to get high views on YouTube or whatever, they're lying. I mean, nobody's going to care about this tag team. They're just, this tag team's fucking less relevant than Pretty Deadly. It's the same shit at the end of the day. They're less well known than the Mexicans, Legado del Fantasma.
The Mexicans!
Because at least they've been on WWE for a while and they have the WWE brand.
Yep.
They've been exposed to like 2 million people. Exposed. No, but like those tag teams have been exposed week in, week out to 2 million people. And yeah, it might be the same 2 million people every week, but sometimes it'll be different people and whatnot. No, but I guarantee you that if you take like the average wrestling fan still watching wrestling 2024, less people know the Guns than any other tag team on either the main roster or SmackDown.
Absolutely. Every day of the week.
And I'm just not interested.
And if people know the Guns, right, it's of like, oh, I mean, I watched TNA in 2008. I remember that name. That name sounds familiar.
And it's like, what is their their new theme song absolutely sucks, by the way. Fucking sucks. They don't have a gimmick. They call themselves the Motor City Machine Guns, and in TNA they had a catchy wee song, but in WWE the song absolutely sucks. I just don't see anything happening with this tag team.
Why not just buy the TNA song?
I think it's going to fail.
What would it cost? About $5?
And then we hear about how you need to earn things, but now all of a sudden they're one match away apparently for being number one contenders for belts that don't matter. Well, we'll see what happens, but I can't even tell you who the tag team champs are in WWE.
Bloodline?
Bloodline, well, there you go. They ain't beating them, are they?
The Bloodline.
Anyway, my thoughts are this tag team's going to suck.
Well, you say gonna suck, they do suck. I mean, look how dead it was. They set them up for failure with Nick Aldis in the back, like fucking speaking down to them like they're disabled or something.
It was well over 10 years ago since Sabin was world champ.
Yeah.
And his stocks went down since then.
And see, 10 years, right? In any line of work like this, like sports, it's fucking insane.
You remember the Wolves? Davey Richards and Eddie Edwards?
Aye.
That'd be like saying them coming to WWE is a big deal.
Those jobbers. Wolves to the slaughter. Anyway, guys, that is where we're going to end this.
Give us the Hardys, right? Give us the fucking Hardys. That's who we want. Give us it.
They'll get a louder pop. Anyway, till next time. Peace.